Hello and welcome to Market Madness, the podcast from GiveMeSport, where every day is like transfer deadline day. Now, I'll let you guys know I have a new setup going on here for transfer deadline day. My script is over here, the main camera's over here, but it's in HD, and I'm ready to get it rocking. Myself, Joel Bayer, and GiveMeSport senior football correspondent, Mr. Ben Jacobs. We're here with the second show of the day. Ben, how you doing? You okay?
You're looking good. How are you doing? How was the wedding? Congratulations.
Thank you very much, man. It was definitely a here we go indeed, man. We got the ring and everything. The excitement is real. How are you doing today? How long have you been up for?
So I went to bed at 1:30 after the Alexander Isak agreement broke, 125 million. He's passed the medical now, so the formal announcement is imminent. Then I got up at 4 a.m, broadcasting across TalkSport, writing, of course, and broadcasting across GiveMeSport. And this is our second show. And Fabrizio Romano will join us soon.
Incredible stuff. I think the phrase "lend me a fiver" reacts well to you today, Ben. I'm very sure of it. You're going to make
me shirt on as well.
Oh man, I'm ready to go. I'm telling you, you look smart. Ironed as well, more than anything. I'm surprised.
It's a rarity.
For sure. Market Madness is here to guide you through the late stage of the transfer window. That's right, the deals that have been going on. And don't forget, deals can still happen to what? Is it 7 p.m. tonight, Ben?
The deal sheet, the dreaded deal sheet. I don't think we're going to see too many of them. There's a lot of deals that have been resolved. I can give you a recap in just a moment. There's a fair few big stories that are now pretty much finalized. But yeah, keep an eye. 7 o'clock, the window shuts, but there will be the odd one that has that dreaded deal sheet.
It's true. And don't forget, guys, we're currently live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. And if you're listening back in the future, please do make sure you're following at GiveMeSport so you can see what happens live on the show as it happens back then, in the future, and in the past. And yes, don't forget, we've got the news as it happens. So please, please, please make sure you subscribe, you follow, you do everything you need to do to stay on point. Like you said, we've got Fabrizio Romano. We've got a lot going on. And I think it's time we get your questions in and carry on with the show. This is Market Madness on GiveMeSport. Oh my gosh, Ben, there is a lot going on. We need a little recap though, Ben. What have you got for us?
Yeah, let me run you down some of the latest that we have. Some live, some done. Of course, to reiterate again, Alexander Isak will be a Liverpool player, 125 million fixed fee. Newcastle United also get a solidarity payment, not paid by Liverpool or part of the deal, but Newcastle will see this as 130 million if you include the solidarity payment, but it's 125 million. I think that's important because remember, it's a British transfer record fee. And then some other movement. Newcastle United signing Yoane Wissa on a 4-year deal. He's just passed his medical, 55 million package. And in addition to that, Liverpool have sent in London so that they can save time. They've got a team there. Marc Guehi for his Crystal Palace to Liverpool move, £35 million. And Igor, the Brighton defender, appears to be joining Crystal Palace on loan. That gives them a defensive reinforcement. There is some talk of a West Ham hijack, but Palace looking to get that over the line. And then Guehi will be done as well. Elsewhere, Nicholas Jackson, huge story as we broke exclusively on GMS. The deal was off, but then this morning, back on again. It's changed from a loan with an option to a loan with an obligation, and the total fee is around £70 million. Tyreek George is also set to leave as well. He's going to be joining Fulham from Chelsea. The fee there is about 22 million. Piero Hincapié has passed his Arsenal medical. Jakub Kiwior is going off to Porto. And in addition, Fabio Vieira, another exclusive that we broke earlier today, is joining Hamburg. And those are the kind of interesting deals that are either done recently or about to be done. Harvey Elliott to join Aston Villa. That's a loan with a 35 million obligation to buy. And then we need to wait and see whether Manchester United resolve all of the outgoings necessary. Jadon Sancho expected to join Aston Villa. In addition, Sene Lammens is coming in. Rasmus Højlund to Napoli. There's still a lot going on, Joel. So make sure that you stay tuned across the GMS network from now until 7 o'clock and beyond that deadline shutting hour as well.
You know, as you're reading out all those transfers, my heart is just pumping, pumping, pumping. The excitement is real. And I'll tell you what, there is a man that I think might work harder than you on transfer deadline day. I say that lightly because I know you are a special man, Mr. Ben Jacobs, indeed. But I know that there is a man that's waiting to come on and give us the info. And his name is Mr. Fabrizio. Here we go, Romano. Please, can we have him in the chat, please?
Ciao, guys. How are you? All
Fab,
good?
How are you doing, Fab?
Good. Thank you. All good.
Listen,
I mean, many things, but all good.
Good, man. I can see you sweating, man. Those transfers are really going at it. But I'm not going to waste your time. We're going to get straight into it, Fab. Yeah. I'm going to ask you, I've seen a here we go for Marc Guehi. Talk to us. What's happening there?
He's having a medical while we are here live on GiveMeSport. He's having a medical in London for Liverpool. Liverpool got the green light from Crystal Palace this afternoon, and so had to be the day of Isak and Guehi, and it's the day of Isak and Guehi because Marc Guehi agreed personal terms long time ago with Liverpool. He wanted to go to Liverpool. I'm told that last night after the game he scored a beautiful goal. Palace were perfect against Villa, but then he went to speak also to the coach, especially to the coach Oliver Glasner, who really wanted to keep Marc Guehi at the club and told him that he wanted to go to Liverpool, was his opportunity. He wanted to go immediately, not on a free next year. And so Palace today decided to give the green light with Marc Guehi being the new centre-back, now soon available for Arne Slot.
Excellent stuff, man. I can tell there's a lot going on there. He had a really good post-match interview as well on the weekend. What about Harvey Elliott? Is he heading out of Anfield next?
Yeah, he's going to Aston Villa because Aston Villa wanted to sign Lucas Paquetá. The deal for Paquetá was very advanced. Then West Ham decided to keep the player and to change the outcome of this deal. So nothing happened for Paquetá at the end. And Aston Villa are going to sign Harvey Elliott. The agreement with Liverpool is done for £35 million. So everything is in place. It's going to be a loan with obligation to buy to comply with the financial fair play rules for Aston Villa. So they are now exchanging all the documents. The player is having his medical. And I think this is going to be official very soon. An important signing, a top signing for Aston Villa. Elliott was also wanted by Red Bull Leipzig during this window. Several times they tried, but then Villa jumped in and the player prefers to stay in the Premier League.
Fab, we'll come on to Chelsea in just a moment, but a lot of people in the chat asking about Ademola Lookman. We know that midway through the window, he issued a statement saying basically he felt that Atlanta were being unfair, and at that point he wanted to join Inter. There'd been some suggestions of Bayern before Nicholas Jackson and maybe even Spurs. Is it over for Ademola Lookman? Is he going to stay at Atlanta or could we get some late window drama?
Look, I would not exclude a late move for Mola Lookman or maybe some other market beyond European market closing tonight. So let's see what's happening because the player still has this desire to leave Atalanta. This has not changed. But you can imagine that Atalanta turned down 45 million euros obligation to buy guaranteed. So basically a permanent transfer for Ademola Lookman at the end of July from Inter, guaranteed money. They were never going to accept a loan with buy option for 28 million euros from Bayern for Lookman. So the bid they rejected from Bayern was considered absolutely far from what they want for Ademola Lookman. So at the moment, the situation remains with Lookman hoping for a transfer. Let's see what happens in the next hours. He's been one of the names discussed internally at Tottenham over the week, but now Tottenham signed Colomoni, obviously different position. So let's see if financially is possible. But I think after investing big money for Colomoni, let's see if Tottenham will decide to sign also winger or not. And eventually for Lookman, there could be also more options. There was a call with Galatasaray in the past few days, but at the moment I'm told nothing concrete, nothing imminent. Let's see which club is going to try or if the player is going to end up staying at Atalanta.
Let's talk about Chelsea and outgoings. Nicholas Jackson, give us the details of a new move to Bayern, which is now a loan with obligation rather than only an option to buy. Tyreek George is on the move too. And can you tell us anything new about a possible exit for either Raheem Sterling or Ben Chilwell?
Yeah, they're trying to get the green light from Ben Chilwell for a Strasbourg move. So this is what they're trying to do. Obviously, they are ready from Chelsea to sanction that move. So it all depends on the player. For Sterling, there is a full-on possibility, but they signed Tyreek George. They want to sign two. Let's see what happens in the next hours with Samu Chukwueze, with Kevin, who has this agreement. There is an agreement between clubs, Fulham and Shakhtar for Kevin, but not yet between Fulham and Kevin and his agent, because there is also interest from Sporting in Portugal. So these could be important to understand the future of Sterling. Tyreek George goes to Fulham on £22 million deal plus heavy sell-on clause. The player was close to joining Roma, but the deal collapsed around lunchtime, and so there was the green light from Chelsea to proceed with the deal with Fulham. And then in terms of Chelsea, the important story of the day is obviously Nico Jackson, because they changed the conditions of the deal and they approved the move. So from 15 now is 16.5 million euros, the loan fee for Nico Jackson to Bayern, and also there is a potential obligation to buy included in the deal. So let's see what's going to happen next year, but for sure Chelsea got what they wanted, different conditions. Bayern got what they wanted, Nico Jackson, and obviously the player as well, because Jackson only wanted to go to Bayern.
I've got a few Manchester United friends that want to know, are Manchester United going to sign a midfielder this window?
Look, in the next 2 hours, because at the moment there is nothing really concrete into it. Yesterday there were some reports about the possibility of going for Angelo Stiller from Manchester United. We spent the whole summer with rumors on Stiller about Spanish, Italian, English clubs, but he's not moving. So Stiller will not go to Man United. There was no mission yesterday and nothing really concrete into it. Let's see if in the next hours Man United will make a surprise, but at the moment I'm not aware about that, to be honest. I'm not aware of any advanced negotiations. In case it happens, we will be here.
What about when it comes to Manuel Akanji from City to Inter? There's supposed to be a 2 million euro loan fee and a 15 million euro option to buy. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, Manuel Akanji is about to land in Milano now. He will have his medical and sign his Inter contract. There is a double deal on that one, because Inter are signing Manuel Akanji from Manchester City loan, as you mentioned, 2 million euros loan fee. They will cover the salary, and then they have a buy option clause for 15 million euros next summer 2026. Might become an obligation in case Inter win the Serie A and in case he plays more than 50% of the games this season at Inter. And Inter at the same time are also releasing Benjamin Pavard, the centre back, who is going to join Olympique Marseille, a loan with buy option for 15 million euros also in this case. And so double defender move between Inter, Man City and Olympique Marseille.
Let's talk about Joel's beloved Arsenal. Piero Hincapié, that move, presumably Fabrizio, it's just a case of the official announcement now, because I think it was all pretty much agreed, wasn't it, before deadline day? And what can you reveal about outgoings heading into the day? We knew Fabio Vieira and Hamburg, for example. Zinchenko had a Marseille option. Is that still on, or you think it more likely now that he stays at the Emirates Stadium?
No, he's not going to Marseille for sure, but let's see if there will be some other option in other markets, because at the moment I'm not aware of any move today. But again, still a few hours to go, so let's see. Otherwise, there are other markets like the Turkish one, the Saudi. So let's see what's happening with Zinchenko. At the moment, he doesn't have an agreement to leave Arsenal, and with Marseille was never close. Hincapié is going to Arsenal. Hincapié is in London. I think they wanted to announce earlier today. Then sometimes with the paperwork can take some time. Also was a busy day at Bayer Leverkusen because Erik Ten Hag got fired, so also the Bayer Leverkusen management and board had to spend obviously some times with that issue, but there are no problems, and Piero Hincapié will be new centre-back for Arsenal.
To the other side of North London then, and Tottenham, a loan for Randell Kolo Muani. Was that one of the surprises of the day? And then a lot of Spurs fans would still like to see a defensive reinforcement. Any chance of another Spurs addition in the final hours?
I would not exclude anything, because they made some calls for Manuel Akanji a few days ago, also for other defenders. So let's see if they find an opportunity on the market, maybe. But it's really difficult to find defenders on the market. So we already saw in January, February, actually, when they signed Danso out of nowhere. Sometimes Spurs have this kind of late moves. So let's see. But at the moment, again, there are not so many centre-backs available in the market. And this is also shown by AC Milan. They were looking for a centre-back. They tried for Akanji and several others, but it was not easy to find the right one. So I think in this moment, that's the issue. But for sure, Tottenham are quite happy with what they did, signing a player like Kolo Muani. If you ask me 24 hours ago, Kolo Muani was in advanced negotiations to join Juventus. Then the deal collapsed last night, and out of nowhere, during the night, Tottenham built this deal on straight loan to sign Kolo Muani. He's an important striker, a player who's worth big money. PSG were asking 70 million euros, and they've been able to get him on loan. So Spurs very happy with this one.
I have to ask, when it comes to the Ederson and the Donnarumma situation at Manchester City, what's going on? Are we going to see Donnarumma come in? Are we going to see Ederson leave? Talk to us, Fab.
Yeah, it's done. Don't worry. Donnarumma to Man City, Ederson to Fenerbahce. Just wait for the official statements, but everything is done. Ederson will cost around 13 million euros to Fenerbahce. The player is traveling as well as Marco Asensio. Asensio is already there in Istanbul since last night, so double important signing for Fenerbahce. And at the same time, Gigio Donnarumma is having his medical in Italy today as new Manchester City player. So everything done also in this case. They will pay 30 million euros plus add-ons. PSG accepted the bid this morning. And so Donnarumma is always expected is going to Manchester City. He was never going to stay at PSG out of the squad. And so he's going to be the new keeper for Pep Guardiola. After Trafford, they're also signing Gigio Donnarumma.
Fab, I want to say thank you very much for your time. Honestly, enjoy the rest of transfer deadline day. That's if you can enjoy it. I don't think you're going to sleep tonight, but we want to say thank you for joining Market Madness from GiveMeSport.
Thank you, guys. My pleasure. I will see you soon. Thank you.
Ciao. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Ciao.
I mean, let's be honest with you. If you don't watch Market Madness, then what are you doing? We've got Ben Jacobs over here. We've got Fabrizio Romano on deadline day. Two of the best. It doesn't get any better. But we've got more people joining us, don't we, Ben?
We do. We're going to bring in Paul Gilmour in just a moment. Let me give you two bits of breaking news, though, and these are live stories. The first is Crystal Palace are exploring a late window move, I understand, for the Tottenham forward, Mainoo Solomon, who Leeds United wanted earlier in the window. Of course, they signed Dominic Calvert-Lewin. My understanding here is talks are quite advanced already. I mean, they have to be. There's only hours remaining. And the formula discussed is a loan with a buy option. And I can also reveal that Bilal Al-Khanous from Leicester has completed now his move to Stuttgart for an initial loan with a £26 million obligation.
Wow. There's a lot going on. You know, I have to read out one of the comments as well before we go into it. There's questions about players like Tyrell Malacia. Is there any news on him, Ben? Do you have any update on him whatsoever? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but maybe you would have heard something, because obviously people want to know what's going on with the ins and outs.
Yeah, I think that Tyrell Malacia has had a very difficult window because he had a loan opportunity to the La Liga side Elche, and it fell through at some point around lunch today, and the player was kind of banking on that move. So now we have to wait and see whether anybody comes in late in the window. But as it stands, he's staying, and that Elche move is off.
Okay, well, there you go. That's the updates you get. I just threw that one in. That wasn't even in the script, guys. I just threw it at him. Ben, are we ready to bring on our guest, do you reckon?
Let's do it. A legend and a very good friend, and someone that did a great interview with Pierluigi Collina only a few weeks ago. It's GiveMeSport's very own senior football reporter, Paul Gilmour.
Hello, guys. How you doing? You well?
Great to see you. How are you?
Yeah, good. Not bad. Another busy deadline day. It's all happening today.
Yeah, and I'm keen to get your thoughts, Paul.
No. Go.
I'll go first. Why not? So let's talk about Yohan Wispool, because I know you're very close to Brentford, and he's got his move to Newcastle. Pretty good fee, if not an incredible fee for Brentford. 55 million package, 50 up front, 5 in add-ons, 4-year deal. Were you surprised, though, that they let him go? Because all indications were that Keith Andrews in particular wanted to try and block this move regardless of the money.
Yeah, surprised in the sense that they have been trying to get reinforcements in and trying to, obviously they've lost so many players already, and Bumo, Flecken, a number of these, not just Norgard comes to mind. Thomas Frank has gone obviously to Tottenham. So it's been a real kind of, when something like that happens to a club all at once, it is a problem. And, I think we've seen that with a couple of the results early on in the season. That said, when you do get a deal with the finance like that for a player of his age, I'm not totally surprised, because I think that that is ultimately too good a deal to really turn down. And yes, okay, they've been desperate to try and keep hold of him, as you would do given the goals that he can supply. But no, I'm not overly surprised, because I think it's a really good deal for Brentford. And obviously they Inutara, who started quite well, hope that he will be able to get the goals that can hopefully keep them in the Premier League. But no, I think that is a good deal. They've held out, and they've shown that holding out for as late as possible in this window has been a good tactic.
I just want to ask, when it comes to the Kolo Muani to Spurs move, are they putting a good team together in your opinion, Paul? Talk to us.
Yeah, it's trying to see if they can come up with the balance and get the right balance. And Muani is a player they've been interested in for a long time. They've tried to get him on. I remember doing previous deadline days where he was certainly somebody that they inquired about. And, he's got to the stage now where he has around 30 odd France caps. He scored in a World Cup in the latter stages for his country. He's somebody who, they have tried to get. And to me, what it says is that they are worried about Solanke's injury. Perhaps because I know Thomas Frank has said that they didn't want too many strikers, so maybe that's more of a sign that they're worried about his injury. But that said, he's an experienced player who can come in and hit the ground running and give them that balance. If you say, I guess if you ask the question, is it a perfect Tottenham squad? Are they ready to go? Would it be the ideal Tottenham squad for the season? Maybe not. As Fabrizio alluded to before, they have been actively looking at centre backs, and that hasn't been easy in this market. But ultimately, they've been able to prioritise more attacking players with a view, maybe if they don't get a defensive reinforcement in or another attacking player in before 7 o'clock, that maybe the January window's one to look at for an extra player or two.
Paul, with Tottenham, what about the defence? Because a lot was made of Son leaves, you need a left-sided player. We know about Eberechi Eze going to Arsenal, Morgan Gibbs-Rogers at 10, not arriving and signing in Nottingham Forest. So, of course, when Xavi Simons arrives and Tottenham beat Chelsea to that signature, there's a slightly different complexion on the window, but they didn't get Savinho in the left-wing position. And many Tottenham fans, despite the excitement over attackers, have been asking about a number 6 and a left-sided centre-back. Do you see any late window surprises or additions in these final 2.5 hours?
In my experience of Tottenham on deadline day, they do try and push for a late deal. So it wouldn't totally surprise me if they did try and get, and knowing that they still do need in some of those positions you mentioned, it wouldn't surprise me at all. What often happens, I always remember hearing tales of players that they did try to get on the final day, and ultimately it just proved too difficult because the odds certainly do shorten, don't they, as the hours tick away. So it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to bring in a few more reinforcements, but it will. I think it just will get increasingly difficult, and it might be that you find that they end up with just Muani to add to the attacking positions. But there's no doubt that they have had that sort of a bit of an up and down transfer window this summer because of the players you've mentioned there. Morgan Gibbs-White and Savinho and Eze. You've obviously aimed high with those players, and it didn't happen for a variety of reasons with them. So, yeah, it wouldn't totally surprise me. You can never rule it out at Tottenham, but I think it's getting close enough to 7 o'clock, isn't it? But I've no doubt that they will be working away behind the scenes just to see if any player becomes available and try and get that done.
Just finally, Paul, coming back to Brentford to finish, Reece Nelson, what do you make of that signing? We know earlier in the window it was Fulham that were in regular contact, but he's gone to Brighton from Arsenal. Is that going to be a sensible and smart bit of business?
Yeah, I think he's a Premier League proven experienced player. So any player who has the number of appearances that he does have in the Premier League, I think it's a smart signing because he's somebody who we saw for Fulham could really have a good impact. He was a solid player, and that's what he'll do. He'll be a solid squad player for Brentford. So I think I do think that's a smart signing just to give them a little bit more experience and to come in and try and help with the balance of the squad.
I have to say, Paul, before we go into some reactions and comments that people want to hear from Ben, but I want to ask you very quickly about Jadon Sancho to Aston Villa. It's a done deal, right? All good?
Yeah, I think the last time we heard that was progressing towards him being an Aston Villa player, and I think it's again there is that relationship that exists between Aston Villa and Manchester United. When you think the Marcus Rashford one, it's a very similar type of transfer, obviously similar positions. And Sancho, he wasn't unbelievable at Chelsea last season, but he was a he had his moments. You think of the goal against Ipswich at Stamford Bridge, and he got his head down and tried to work hard. And I think Unai Emery will be happy with that, given that the result last night, and everyone's looking at that thinking, well, Villa's started the season, and they've lost a few experienced players. So if he can come in and just again, we talk about hitting the ground running because of that Premier League experience, knows the league well, I think it could be a good signing for them. But he's as far as the last time we heard, that was still very much on track.
Oh, Paul, I want to say thank you so much for giving us your time today and joining us during such a busy period. Some might say, of course, you're part of GiveMeSport, so it's part of the work, but we know you're a busy man and we really appreciate it. And I was about to say in the start of the show when me and Ben were talking over each other, what a great beard you got there, man. Like, honestly, I've been trying to brush mine. I really have done, but I'm just not getting the success that you and Ben have had. But hopefully it improves after the transfer deadline day. So thank you very much for joining us.
Brilliant. Cheers, Joel. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. Cheers. Ben, oh, you've done a Joel Bayer, Ben. You've done a Joel Bayer on transfer deadline day. You went mute.
Oh, yeah.
You
mistake.
mute.
I feel like I get a pass, though. One, because I've been up since 4 a.m. and 2, because I have to put myself on mute because I'm constantly getting messages. And I have to tell you, there's a really interesting story developing. We'll have more on this on the GMS network. Liverpool fans don't need to panic just yet, but there has been a major development, and that is Igor, who was due to join Crystal Palace on loan from Brighton. That move is off, I am told. And as a consequence, it is looking like he is instead going to West Ham United. Now, Crystal Palace, remember, wanted Joe Gomez earlier in the window. So Liverpool are waiting now to find out whether the Guehi deal is impacted by this. And I think Palace are going to have to sign a defender for Guehi to get 100% over the line. It's a developing story. So like I say, Liverpool fans shouldn't be panicking just yet. But I am told Igor is going to West Ham. And that might mean that Crystal Palace need to find another defender in the next couple of hours. And let's see if that has a direct repercussion on the Marc Guehi deal. More to follow on this across the GMS network between now and 7 o'clock.
That is absolutely crazy. And just like that, Crystal Palace have to put in extra work. Unbelievable. I want to talk about, there's a few comments that are flying in. One for you, Ben. There's around 5 of them, if I'm honest with you. Fermin Lopez, what's going on? They want the update, please. And apparently you're the only one that can give it.
Yeah, I think Fermin Lopez isn't going to develop. The reality is that a approach was made by Chelsea on the player side to try and get buy-in. The Barcelona attacker was very interested, but by the same token, there was no agreement reached between the two clubs. 40 million euros offer. Barcelona want more like 60 million, if not 70 million. And that is kind of where we stand at the moment with that deal. So I'd be surprised if Fermin Lopez moves in the final hours of the window.
What about Kobbie Mainoo?
Obviously,
yeah.
I think it's that simple. So Kobbie Mainoo asked for a loan move away. It didn't happen because Manchester United wanted to keep him. They value him. There was interest from Napoli. But in the end, Matheus Cunha picked up an injury and so did Mason Mount. And that means that Mainoo has to stay.
And I know you're a busy man at the moment. I just got to quickly ask, very, very quickly, best signing of the season so far?
Oh, I think Alexander Isak to Liverpool for sure. Hugo Ekitike. I like Victor Gyökeres. There's just so many. Brian and Mbeumo, I think, will do really well at Manchester United. So I'm looking forward to digesting the window. But for now, gotta go because Marc Guehi could be in doubt at Liverpool. And this might be one of the biggest stories of deadline day.
Keep on watching. Joel Bayer, Ben Jacobs. This is Market Madness on GiveMeSport. Peace.